Skin cancer was a jarring experience, but it also taught me resilience, it taught me strength, and most importantly, taught me how self care is crucial to survival and success.
Welcome to Working Women Mentor, a podcast where you will find a mentor moment in every episode. We are meeting incredible women from around the world with real stories and learning from the moment that changed it all for them. I'm your host, Rani Alfers, and I'm ready to introduce you to our next guest. Hey everyone, welcome back to Working Women Mentor. I'm your host, Rani Alfers, and in today's episode, we have the pleasure of meeting Bobbi Vargas. She is a beautiful, beautiful woman with a smile and encouragement that you can feel in every bit of this conversation. Bobbi is the founder of Bodela, a health and wellness beauty brand. She is also a celebrity makeup artist and speaker and author, and there is nothing that this lady cannot do. She's sharing her story with us today on mentorship, how she approaches life, how she approaches business, what inspires her. All of this started when Bobbi was diagnosed with a deadly skin cancer a year into her marriage and shortly after childbirth. We've all had those moments where we see something on our skin or we're wondering, oh, should I get that checked out? Well, so did she. And this became an inspiration for her and how she wanted to live going forward. And that is what is so beautiful about Bobbi's story. Her mentorship is incredible. And I'm so excited to jump in today's episode and introduce you to Bobbi. Bobbi Vargas, welcome to Working Women Mentor. Thank you for being a guest today. How are you?
I'm so well. Thank you for having me here today.
I'm so excited. You have so much to talk about with what you're working on in the workplace and mentorship and everything that means to you. But would you please introduce yourself to our audience, Bobbi?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Bobbi Vargas. I'm a business entrepreneur who transitioned into becoming a business and life coach. My journey has been filled with ups and downs, challenges and victories, but every experience has molded me to the person I am today.
Isn't that where we all end up, where we are today? Just like being familiar with it and comfortable with it, being aware. Bobbi, since we are just meeting you for today, I'd love to know if you texted one of your friends and what their responses were when you sent out that message to them. Did you get any feedback that you wanted to share with us?
Yes. As a matter of fact, just prior to jumping on air with you today, I texted a friend and I asked them, I said, if you were to describe me in a short sentence, what would you say? And one of my friends answered saying that he thinks I'm a beacon of resilience and an unwavering determination to win. It warms my heart to know that they feel that about me. Most of the time, you hear more of constructive criticism prior to compliments. But I think the determination of not taking a no for an answer. I was just on a phone call with another friend prior to talking to you as well. And I told him, I said, I love a no any day. Give me a no because it motivates me to turn it into a maybe and that maybe into a yes.
So you're finding a way in whatever that you're encountering.
100%.
I love that. I love that. Well, so Bobbi, as we get into your story, I mean, one of the main pieces, and I know one of the turning points was your skin cancer. You developed it. It's out there. It's more common than we probably all want to admit as women, as people. Tell us a little bit about your journey and what happened there.
So being diagnosed with skin cancer, we as entrepreneurs are constantly chasing the dollar sign because we understand the importance. No, money is not the most important thing in life, but it affects everything that is important, right? It affects the quality of food you eat, the quality of healthcare, of quality of clothes you wear. And it's just a vehicle and a tool to the next phase in life. So chasing the dollar sign and neglecting health is crucial to every entrepreneur. And that's the lesson I learned is place yourself first. And I just want people to know that they're not alone in this fight and that their strength is immeasurable. You can do it all. You just have to have the right resource and environment.
I mean, I have to ask, I mean, just because I have this like olive skin and I don't burn easily, but goodness, do I walk out and attract the sun more so than I feel like anyone else around me. I have to be really careful with sunscreen. I'm very cautious, especially of my face more so than my hands and probably other places. And that's been learned behavior. So, what was your experience? I mean, did you just have happen to discover this on your own? Or if you don't mind sharing, I know that would probably help a lot of people.
No, absolutely. It was almost by a fluke. I was one of those girls where I found it while I was pregnant. And I was one of those girls that just was looking at her body, like the transformation of the pregnancy, right? And so I was looking in the mirror and happened to turn around and see this. And I have sort of beauty marks or freckles, whatever you want to call them, all throughout my body. And there's one that stood out, not in size, but more so in color. It was as dark can be. It was pitch black and it was very small. And it was like, this looks odd. And, I was trying to turn as far as I can. And I thought, even though I suspected and knew that I should have had someone look at it, this happened to me during the pandemic. So COVID was around and, access to a physician wasn't so prevalent. I almost wanted the ignorance part of the transaction and said, I don't want to know if it's bad, especially while I'm pregnant. And so I waited 3 months post giving birth to my child. I decided to go to the doctors, and sure enough, it was melanoma. So it's a deadly form of skin cancer. And the doctor said, rush in here immediately. It will spread like wildfire. And almost 3 years later, I find out it's one of the most deadliest cancers you can get. But to your point, you mentioned sunscreen and what have you. And that's a non negotiable now for me. I actually wear long sleeves in the summer. And there was a period of time where I started to fear going out. But I honestly, and this is just my gut feeling, although science and doctors tell you that it's the sun and they stop there. I truly believe my gut tells me that it's something more than just the sun. It's maybe neglect health for so long because I was chasing financial success in business. You eat what your arm can reach, you sleep as much as time permits until you have to jump out of bed to go run the next, project. So make sure that you're the foundation of this empire. If you're not solid, if you're not mentally healthy and physically healthy, that empire you're building is just going to come tumbling down and you're not serving anyone. That to me is how I came about finding about the cancer is I was just looking in the mirror about the body transformation.
Yeah, and I think so many of us do that with a lot of things. We're like, I really don't want to know right now. I've got enough on my brain. My bandwidth might be low right now, and I'll deal with it when I get there." And to your point, I mean, we really have to be realistic about our health, about where we are with that mindset, where we are on top of that empire, and what that looks like emotionally and mentally. So you made a switch after that. Is that what it took for you to really take a step back and analyze where your self-care was and where your sunscreen practices were and take a hard look at yourself?
Absolutely. That's exactly where my life turned around. Once you have a scare, especially for your life, right? We're all scared to lose our jobs or lose a partner or lose something that we view as valuable. Having cancer definitely tests you in ways that you can't imagine, right? Now I plan differently. I speak differently. I behave differently because of that life
Mhm.
scare. Now we understand as business people how valuable time is. But now that you actually feel that you're losing time, it's scary. And that's exactly where I took the shift. I lean now more heavily into therapy, whether that's journaling or taking a walk just to unwind or meditation, whatever that case is.
What would you say to someone who is going through something like this, where life is being questioned, where it could be a surprise? How would you support that person?
Know that you're not alone. Everyone feels like they're alone when they're going through some sort of a challenge in life. And you're not alone. Seek help. There's no shame in asking for help. I think our pride and ego sometimes hold us back. Always question your environment, right? Are they uplifting or are they suppressive? I think it's so crucial to be surrounded by the right people and the right things. One of our products at Bodela that we created, it's crystals. And whether you believe in the magic of crystals or candles, right? Or no, the fact that it smells good, it might uplift you a bit. So anything that's uplifting, surround yourself with, whether it's a person or an object. So that's my biggest advice is be aware of your surrounding. And we check in on everything in our life. You check in on your kids, your pets, your family, your friends, your job. And the last person you check in on, if you even do, is yourself. So pause during the day, look in the mirror, or just check on yourself.
I think that's great advice. And, my father is just recovering and in remission from pancreatic cancer. And we're so lucky.
So lucky, I feel like right now with the condition he's in currently. So just so exciting for where he is today. But when he first found out about it, he didn't want anyone to know. It was one of those things where it was like, I don't want anybody to know about what I'm going through, the suffering, the anything. And then something switched in him and he began talking like a lot. Like you couldn't call him without getting off the phone. Like he started talking to everybody. Anybody who wanted to talk, he was a chatterbox and he just sort of opened himself up a lot more to that. And I could see it, what a difference it made in how he managed his day to day, from shutting down and being very close to one or two people to sort of feeling the love from many. Like you said, when you're going through difficult times, we often don't want to share that. But it's amazing how, when you do, you go through it a little bit quicker from what I have experienced. I think there's so many people out there going through something. If it's not cancer, right? It could be many other things. So I want to talk about Bodela because you have done so many different things in your career and now you're helping people with their own. But let's touch on that. Where did this idea come from? What is the company about? Tell us everything you can so we can support it.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you asking and even offering support. So the way it came about is exactly that, is that when I realized that self-negligence happens throughout the board with everyone, your father, for example, I almost respect the fact that people do that, hold back negative information, because we all know that the entire universe is operated on energy. And when we give out poor information, knowing that it may translate to something negative in your life for the day, even it's like, oh my God, knowing that my father is, has cancer just ruined my day and what have you. So I respect the fact that he doesn't have that victim mentality, right?
Oh, Bobby, and on that note, I have to even say he waited. He waited 1 week, almost 1 week to tell me because I was doing something at the time that I was really focused on and super scared about. And I was like on my first underwater dive. And he knew that I was pretty freaked out about it. And he waited until I did it to tell me because he probably thought, oh man, I'm just gonna blow up her experience. So you're right about that. It's a great observation.
You give me chills listening to that. How selfish is that? It's so self. But in retrospect, knowing what you know today, if had you known from the moment he found out, would that have changed anything for you?
Yeah, I mean, it would have, oh, yes. I mean, I would have felt that, but meaning like nothing would have changed for him. Like I couldn't have done anything different to your point, right? It's like for me, it would have just hit me a day or two earlier at a time that I could have. You can't control when things happen, right? But since he did, I was okay with that. I was a little thankful for that. But yeah, you're right. When you're putting out those messages in the universe, you kind of have to be aware of what everyone else is going through too, don't you?
100%, 100%. And I love that. I love the fact that he suppressed it for a little bit, because it shows the humility in him and how much he cares for his ecosystem, his nucleus family. And I love that. And I believe that I told people, and I believe that he probably did too. This is just my assumption. I feel like we finally share such scary news at some point, because we all get so busy in life. And sometimes I love you so much, but if I'm in the middle of something, I'm not going to answer your call because I'm in the middle of something. But now this whole life situation has transpired. I don't care what I'm in the middle of, I'm answering your call, right? At some point, we tell because we want you to know that we want to hear your voice before time just gone. So I feel that at least the victors, right? People with the victory mindset and not the victims, when they finally say something, it's because they know time now. They know what the importance of time.
So you go through this life experience, this change, and where did this concept come from for this company?
So when I realized that this cancer wasn't just from the sun, I truly believe that. And I replayed my life in my head and I thought, where and what part of this problem is my doing? So what can I hold accountable? And how can I rectify it? And how can I tell others what not to do and to do, so that they don't have to go through the same road path I did? And when I realized it was my environment, I neglected surrounding myself with positive energy, or the right people that would encourage me to take care of me, instead of, it's all about others. It's all about the company. It's all about the dollar sign. It's all about everything else but you. And you go home and sometimes I love it when people say, "Oh, I'm unwinding." I'm like, "Oh, you do that? Lucky you." I just shut down. There is no time to unwind. And so that's where Bodela came about is what form, and I believe that modern medicine works. I will not negate it. But I also know that holistic medicine is an option. It's not as loud as pharma, but holistic medicine has been around for thousands of years. And if that's an option, allow me that option first, or allow me the choice. And I wanted to give people a choice of having holistic medicine as a way of remedy, whether exercise is a holistic form of medicine, believe it or not. And so that's how Bodela transpired is that I wanted to create a holistic line that addresses mental, physical, and spiritual health because that's the only balance that exists in in life, period. I'm so stuck on helping entrepreneurs that that's my go-to word. But for anyone, when people are looking for life work balance, that's a myth. And ask the most successful people on planet Earth, they'll say, is no such thing. The only balance there is, and we should aspire and work towards is self balance, mental health, physical health, spiritual health. You and I know people that are extremely intelligent, financially successful, are in great shape, and they're still on antidepressant or commit suicide or depressed for whatever reason, right? That's truly, in my opinion and my belief, that it's because they neglect their spiritual health. Know that God is real. I don't care who your God is, the green giant pickle, but know that there is a greater power than you that you can turn to for help and guidance. So that's how Bodela transpired, is reflecting on my life and my journey and sharing that with everyone that is open-minded to an alternative form of medicine.
I mean, it's your impact. It almost sounds like your way of even giving back and making sure that, like you said, someone doesn't have to go through what you did if there's something that you can do to make it a better place. So when you set out to build this company, did you focus primarily first on the skincare piece? And then did everything lifestyle related come along with that after some time?
It's definitely the old school way. I love doing things organically because I come from a world and a generation where this blessing that I'm on right now, this computer was non-existent. So we didn't have social media. There was no way of communicating with you this quickly or this easily. So I'm still doing it the old school way where we're attending events and we're doing face-to-face contact and showing people. But it did not, to answer your initial question, it did not start from the skin and then within. It was actually the opposite. So we started with essential oils. Even though it is topical and it goes on the skin, it wasn't with the intention to protect your skin from getting cancer, but rather, how can I get you to feel better? And so are you a visual person? Are you auditory? The easiest way was for me is it's scent and visual. I think those are the two things where I hear most people like, oh, it smells like apple pie, or it reminds me of my grandmother's, or it reminds me of Thanksgiving, or whatever, like family gatherings or what have you. So with essential oils, it actually heals you from the inside out. There's a whole science and research that's been done on that. The minute people smell something, all of a sudden they're smiling or they're feeling a little better or they're looking at the crystals that are within our rollers. And it's like, oh, this is so pretty. And all of a sudden their energy just shifts from either tense to a little bit more calm or relaxed. So it started off with that product and then it just expanded to so many other products. And now our latest product is our sea moss gummies, and it's a consumable. And once again, it works from within, and it consists of 92 vitamins and minerals out of 102 that your body needs.
It's like a magic pill.
I have to send you a package. It's one of my favorite products, and it tastes so good too. We've definitely done our due diligence of finding ethical, good, yummy products.
When I come home after a long day, I love to light a candle. So you're so right about that smell. And I have several I'm rotating right now, but they're very lavender and botanical inspired fragrances because it does transport you from that energy you had at the office or on your project or whatever you're kind of hustling through to another place. And I think you having a space where we can go and find those things that bring us the joy, that bring us to the other space is really a beautiful concept. And so congratulations to you and your business. And We'll make sure to support it on this side as well and link up and test out our favorite product. Are there some things that you just can't live without in this store?
Oh gosh, it's really hard to choose, but I want to say one that I absolutely love would be our wish bracelet. And let me tell you why. Because we all have a vision board, whether it's an actual tangible one or just a visionary, right? So we all have a vision board. And you leave the house and now you're distracted by life and all of the mundane things that you have to do. And so then you forget about your vision board. So with the wish bracelet, the reason it's really interesting because initially how I envisioned it would transpire to people is that you write your wish for yourself, you roll it up, you put it in the bracelet and you wear it. And now when you're distracted and out in the world, you look down at your wrist and you remember what your goal and mission is for yourself. Well, the funny part is that now I have mothers buying them for their one particular, she bought it for all of her boys and she wrote her wish for them and gave it to them, or lovers give it to one another. So it's been an interesting way to see it transfer from one person to the other. But that's definitely one of my favorites.
So let's talk a little bit about mentorship because, you're actively a mentor, you're helping other people, other women. Has there been someone who's been pivotal to you and has led, I'm sure, many people, but is there anyone you can think of that has really made a mark and left a mentor moment with you?
Absolutely, absolutely. As a matter of fact, it's funny that you said many others, and you're absolutely right. Every season you find someone that's inspiring. But one of my biggest advice while I answer your question is keep your mentors very little, right? Because then it creates confusion. You'll have, for example, a mentor that tells you to save money while the other tells you to invest it. So it creates confusion when you have many mentors. But yes, I would say Grant Cardone, who's a dear friend and one of my favorite mentors. He's always one that I can reflect back on in terms of things that impacted my life. If you're not first, you're last. And getting attention is extremely important. Best known beats best product. So you can be the best product in the market, but if no one knows who you are, then you won't be successful in whatever service you're trying to give, whether it's financial success or just providing service. So he's absolutely one of my favorite mentors.
He and Elena are incredible. They have so much to share. You mentioned the word empire. In fact, when you said it, she's done such a great job at building her program and platform that it's one of the things that, popped into my mind when you said that, right? She is out there teaching women, showing women how to be a lot of different things, but not leave the empire building or whatever it is you want on the table. So you've got a couple of great friends there.
They're incredible people. And, because you mentioned Alina, I think one of my favorite teachings of hers is how important a support role is. So you don't always have to be, because I never was for the majority of my career in the limelight, right? So I've always been a support pool to someone or a company that has been successful. And I took such pride in that post. And so she now highlights it and brings it to people's attention is that there is no shame in being the person behind someone who's successful or the wing girl or wing guy to someone or a company that you're trying to help grow. It's a critical role to be in.
Oh, I would agree with that just 1,000%. I think we all have just something to give. And it's wherever you are, front, back, side. I mean, whatever it is, it's just what you're doing, what you're great at, what you're loving. That is such a true statement. When you're thinking about mentorship within Bodela and then with your friends and your own professional group, what advice do you have for your own company? I mean, how are you handling mentorship around you right now?
I've been in the post of leadership for, gosh, I want to say a little bit over a decade now, where I was forced into a leadership position and that I resisted and not realizing my superiors had seen something in me that I didn't see until you're in that post and you realize where you flourish the most. So it's not foreign to me that the leader position, right? In creating this company, you're still a leader and it all starts from the top. As a leader, my main job is to create more leaders so that I can detach myself from my post so I can do something else. And now they can take my position and we all grow together. So it definitely starts from the top. And my priority is as a leader, my entire team's well-being, right? Well, so it's not just my mission and vision and what the company is out for to do. But what is your goal? How can I help you achieve your goal within the company? Do we align? Do we have the same priorities? Do we have the same values? Do we have the same principle? Because if you don't, it's best I find you something else to do elsewhere, or you find yourself something to do elsewhere, because that's where you're going to be successful. So as a leader, I just have to be aware and observant, right? And even though I allow my team to take on roles that they think they're best suited for, I allow them that chance. But at the end of the day, it's my job and my responsibility to place them where they will be successful. Just like when I was in sales and I was excelling in sales, and that's how Grant and I were starting to become friends. I was like, who's better than me in sales? That's who I need to be friends with. So that's how I found the Cardones. But when I was great in sales, I thought that's where I was going to die. I was going to live and die in sales because that's where I was excelling. Well, not till someone else saw my potential and where I actually would be of benefit to others and the company. And that was in leadership. And that's what my job is now, is to basically pass that on, the ability to see your strength and place you in the right position and post so that you excel. In turn, you'll help me succeed.
I think that's beautiful. It's what we should do with who's around us. And so you're able to give back and to really focus on that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. How has your view, though, of mentorship changed over time from, like you said, being younger, maybe in sales, maybe just starting out into something, to here you are today, trying to do for others as that was done for you and worked for you? So, what did that evolution look like? I mean, when you first thought about mentorship to today?
I mean, mentorship is crucial. I hear successful people tell younger entrepreneurs or new entrepreneurs that there is no shortcut to success. And that's also a myth. That's where mentorship comes in. It actually catapults your success. Now, hard work is not decreased. You'll still have to work hard, but it will definitely expedite the process to reaching your goal. So, mentorship is basically a roadmap that navigates all the challenges because they've gone through it or know someone that has gone through it. So it's extremely crucial if you want to be successful fast and save your time, money, and energy and heartache. It also is important to realize when you're ready for the next phase of mentorship.
I would absolutely agree because you're focusing on, leveraging the skill, leveraging that incredible power around you. And that is, like you said, when you start seeing game changing moves happening. Hopefully, we're growing. And that is so true because sometimes we're stalled. People are stalled. You got to be on that mindset of you're always evolving in a positive way in the path and the lane that you're trying to run in. And it sounds like you found your lane and what you're running in. What mentor moment would you like to leave our audience with today for them to look back and think about Bobbi Vargas and all that you're doing?
Gosh, one huge advice, and it just goes back to exactly what you said, is we're not sometimes growing, we're stalled. That's because I want people to remember this. If there's one takeaway today, is prioritize yourself. And that only happens when you're surrounded by the right environment. So when you're surrounded by people that are motivated and excited for you and themselves, they're constantly pushing each other. So competition is healthy, especially with around the right people. You want to be pushed. And here's the thing, if you're not hard on yourself, life is hard. Once you're hard on yourself, nothing then feels as hard as you are on yourself, if that makes any sense. So when the punches come at you from the universe and things that are out there, then it's like a piece of cake. It's just, oh, I know, I was expecting it. I heard about this story happening to somebody else. My mentor warned me that this would happen, or I read about this. So surrounding yourself, surround yourself, surrounding yourself, surround yourself. I will repeat it, that surround yourself in the right environment, because also that is what can set you back in life. People that be careful, slow down, stay under the radar, all of that is going to set you down, even if that's what you're made of. So be around people that are going to push you and push yourself.
Great advice. And we often look at that other side, though, don't we? Like when we're talking, we're like, hey, put yourself around great people. But what you just said was also kind of a light bulb, too, I hope, for some. It's like, it's not just, it's what can happen when you are around the wrong people. Like we keep telling you to find good people, but you think of a time in your life when you were around the wrong people and then what occurred and what choices you made and what that looked like. And I think that is also a wonderful other side of the coin to your advice. Yeah. So I appreciate you sharing that with us. Bobbi, where can everyone find you and follow you and support your working in the workplace?
Well, I appreciate you asking. So they can definitely find me at bobbivargas.com. That's Bobby with an I. So bobbivargas.com. Follow my journey on Instagram at bobbivargas.com. Also at Bodela for the product. And we're planning retreats for Bodela, more work like workshop retreats and a community to create a community. So if you're looking for like-minded people, you can seek us out there. I love engaging with the community. So don't hesitate to reach out, and we'll always answer your messages.
I love that. That's very supportive and very open arm approach, Bobbi. So thank you for being one of our mentors today. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
You as well. Thank you again for your support.
It's time for a quick sponsored ad from EMK Skincare. It's my skincare secret I swear by and love it so much, I bought the company. EMK was founded over 30 years ago in Beverly Hills and is crafted from science-backed research of human placenta and the bioidentical properties to placenta found in nature. High-potency, plant-powered formulas with clinically proven ingredients. Anti-aging is just not realistic, but healthy aging skin is. And it's why this brand is loved by dermatologists, plastic surgeons, estheticians for its healing ingredients and reduced downtime after procedures. It's my secret to glowing skin, even on my busiest days, my travel days, and my longest work days. Visit emkskincare.com to sign up for emails and receive 15% off your first purchase. Now back to the episode.
Before you go, a huge thank you for being a part of this episode. I hope it left you with a spark of inspiration. And if you haven't already, hit that follow button and subscribe button to stay connected. Now is a great time. Your reviews are the heartbeat of our podcast. So if you enjoyed what you heard today, a review would really mean the world to us. Let's keep this conversation going as well on Instagram at Rani Alfers. Visit us at ranialfers.com for all episodes, show notes, and also to express your interest to be a guest. Please sign up. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, I'll see you back on Working Women Mentor.